Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, wow, no excitement in the room. Hello, hello. Okay.
About the student loans, how can the country afford such a massive handout?
Yeah, well, Ambassador Rice said that she's happy to have that discussion. I'm happy to have this discussion as well. Look, if you look at what this president has done, if you look at the end of this coming end of the fiscal year, $1.7 trillion that we have brought down the deficit. That matters. That matters. And if you look at the Inflation Reduction Act, it's going to add another $300 billion. It's going to bring down the deficit again.
And you might spend $300 to $900 billion extra. So you can do that and not
but here's the thing.
deficit.
Here's the thing. What we are trying to do here, we are doing this responsibly. You heard directly from the president. This is something that is going to be important for.
We're taking an economically responsible course.
And you think about what Republicans did just a couple of years ago. They signed off on a $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy and did not provide any way to pay for that.
And
that, again, here's what we have done. Here's
a lot about how much it might cost, it might not cost. Who is paying for this?
What we are saying is the work that this administration has done, the work that the Democrats in Congress has done is actually there, and you see that the 1.7 trillion deficit deduction that you see is going to benefit us in being able to do something for the middle class, to do something for the middle class. This is about doing something for people who make less than $125,000. $1.7 trillion. That's what we've been able to do.
But when you forgive debt, you're not just disappearing debt. So who is paying for this?
And then I'll give you the second part. We lifted the pause, right? We're going to So we are doing this in a smart way. We're doing this in a way that's going to be effective. We're doing in this a way that keeps to the president's promise on giving people who need some breathing room, I just laid out for you. No, Peter, I just laid out for you how we're seeing this process and why this matters. Again, I just laid out because of the work that we have done in the economy, because of the American Rescue Plan, because of the Inflation Reduction Act, and because all of this work that this president has done, how we're going to do this in a smart way. This is not how this administration is doing it. Again, we are happy to continue to have this conversation, but I'm going to move around. Go ahead, April.
If these measures are likely to raise prices because it makes it easier for some students who are maybe more willing to take on debt if they know they're only going to have to pay a minimum amount or if it's going to be forgiven. And Ambassador Rice said that's something the Department of Education is going to be on the lookout for. So I'm wondering if that's a tacit acknowledgement that yes, these policies could cause tuition rates to rise in the near future even further than they already have.
Look, this is something that Ambassador Rice talked about, as you just stated. She was asked this question a couple of times, and she said, we have to see, right? We have to see. This is something that the Department of Education is going to look into, in particular with when you talk about colleges potentially raising prices. That's something that the Department of Education is looking at and is going to crack down on.
But it seems like it's something you're preparing for, right?
Well, I mean, look, this is something that the Department of Education is aware of. This is something that we're monitoring, but it doesn't take away from what this means, from what the president announced today. Focus.
In the thought process, tackle what you can address now, and if that causes college to be more expensive in the future, that's something you'll address later.
Look, this is something that the Department of Education is going to be zero focused on, laser focused on, and make sure that we crack down on those particular issues that particular issue that you just brought up. But again, this is a big deal. What's happening? This is a big deal for so many Americans who.
What do you say to Jason Furman? He was the chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors during the Obama White House, and he tweeted today. He and Larry Summers were, early warning beacons on inflation last year. He tweeted, pouring roughly $500 billion of gasoline on the inflationary fire that is already burning is reckless. Doing it while going beyond one campaign promise and breaking another is even worse. How do you respond to that criticism?
You're talking
with-
about the student loan.
How do
Look,
you respond to that criticism from your own party?
you know, Bharat kind of talked about this. You know, the way we see it is a number of independent experts from Moody's analysts to the Economic Policy Institute agree